Welcome everyone on the panel and those joining us from around the globe for another Global Student Chat. If you're new here, the hashtag Global Student Chat is a student-led initiative connecting students worldwide around topics that matter to them. Hashtag Global Student Chat creates opportunities for students to network with others, gain perspectives, and build relationships with new learning partners in a literacy-rich learning environment. Experience social media as a powerful platform for learning and establish a positive digital footprint. Thank you for joining us. If you're watching us on YouTube, you may sign in with a Google account and use the chat to comment or ask questions. If you're on X, formerly Twitter, or Blue Sky, follow the hashtag Global Student Chat to read the ideas, thoughts, and questions shared by others. We will be using the Q1A1 format. You can also participate on our Instagram account by responding to the posts or live stream. Use hashtag Global Student Chat to add your thinking and get involved in the conversation. Feel free to share your first name and where in the world you're joining from today. If you ask questions, we will be happy to bring them on the panel. Please remember that all comments and questions should be appropriate for all ages. Now let's get into some quick introductions. Hi everybody, my name is Kabir and I'm from Cardinal Carter Catholic High School in grade 12. I'm located in Ontario, Canada, and it's about 10 degrees here and a little bit cloudy.
Hi everyone, I'm Namya Joshi and I'm in grade 12 at Satpal Mittal School in India. And this is my third year at the Global Student Chat. It is 15 degrees Celsius and it's around 11:30 p.m. in the night. And it's pretty chilly, but it's okay.
Hi everyone, I'm Yuhan, a grade 10 student at the Credence High School, Dubai. Right now it's 23 degrees Celsius here and in the night.
Hello, I'm Troy Russell. I go to Lakeshore High School in New York.
Hi, I'm Jacob Stranius, and I also go to Lakeshore High School. I'm a junior in 11th grade.
And I am Michael Drezick. I am an instructor, teacher at Lakeshore High School in Angola, New York. I travel throughout the district as a tech integrator, and I'm excited to have some Lakeshore students joining in the conversation today. I see AJ and Natalie are back. I'm going to pass the mic over to them. Oh, hold on. I forgot. It is 55 degrees Fahrenheit here, which is warm for this time of year in November. Partly cloudy, but nice day outside here for a fall day.
My name's Natalie.
My name's AJ. It's 9 o'clock. It's cloudy and it's 36 degrees Fahrenheit here.
And we go to Wrangell Stikine Middle School.
So I know our friends are joining from Alaska. We've got someone from India and Dubai and Ontario, Canada, and New York. So loving that this chat is truly global. As far as myself, I'm usually on the other side of the screen. But today, given the topic on new tech and innovation, I get to join in as the guest expert on panel. So I know I'm happy to be here in that role and capacity.
Johan, why don't you tell us about the norms for the chat?
Of course. Guys, all viewers, you should know, we will have 30 minutes to discuss 3 questions. Active participation from all classes is how we learn. All comments made during the chat should be positive and productive. You're requested to use language that is inclusive and culturally appropriate, of course. We also welcome diverse opinions, but we ask that when challenging an idea, you respectfully disagree not with the individual person, but with their ideas.
Thank you so much, Johan. And let's begin with today's Sweden Talk by kicking us off with the first question of the chat. And that is, share an innovation or technology other than a smartphone that has made life better or worse and elaborate upon it. So, if I talk about myself, I think we all are aware of the fact that the constructive use of technology can have a beneficial influence in the world. And one of the significant innovation that has improved life for everybody is the video conferencing technology with platforms like Zoom, Microsoft Teams, and Google Meet. And this technology has completely transformed the way we connect, learn, and work. So it's no longer just about talking to people, but it's about opening doors to new opportunities and learning experiences that we thought once were not possible. Because with these tools, we can work from anywhere. And as students, I think we have faced huge challenges when schools were shut down during the COVID-19 pandemic. But these platforms let our classes continue. So it's like the world becomes one big classroom and you can learn from the best no matter where you are. And it also, helps to open endless possibilities for self-learning and personal growth. And of course, it has also given us the ability to collaborate on projects with people across the world without the need to travel there. So I think it has been able to boost our productivity and creativity.
Yeah, I think that's a really great example. Mine's a little bit more simple and kind of a personal item that I use. I was going to say a technology that's made my life a lot easier and better was an air fryer. I think that's such a great invention, especially for young people, because cooking can be a little intimidating at first, especially with a big machinery like a big oven or a stove top. Your parents may not want you to use those things at home when they're not in the house, but something like an air fryer has been very, very helpful for me to start learning how to cook on my own. There's so many different ways you can cook things. It allows for cooking safely. It's accessible for many people as a little bit cheaper, a little bit smaller. It doesn't take too much power. So yeah, that was my technology for the day.
At our school, we have something called a smart board, and it's basically like a whiteboard, but it's all technology, and it comes with like a little pen that you can like write on, and it makes it a lot easier for the teachers to draw graphics and make it easier for students to understand.
All right. Yeah. So we'll take it on this one. Yeah. Go ahead, Troy. You want to share yours?
I was gonna say AI because you can use it. It's pretty much like Google. You can use it as Google, but the only thing is that it could be bad if you overuse it, and then we become too reliant on it.
Yeah, I know here at Global Student Chat, we've had conversations as a whole around AI and artificial intelligence. Definitely an evolving innovation, and wondering what does it look like 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Was it for good or was it for bad? I think we're still kind of in that window. Jacob?
I was going to say like the internet as a whole. I don't know if that makes sense, but like using the internet the way we have it developed now, we can pretty much do anything you can think of on the internet, from like shopping to like just like scrolling through like informative stuff. But I feel like that also as an effect makes us sort of lazy. Instead of like going out and doing some of that kind of stuff on our own, we kind of just use the internet as a backup.
Yeah, I really like what everyone said here. Namia sharing conferencing platforms and how they're able to connect us, and the air fryer and the microwave, like the innovations in food and how we can cook faster and maybe be a little more healthy. On the tech side and the smart board, I think about as a teacher, how the smart board has enabled me to write, but also capture notes, and then could share those with kids that were absent, but also how it's become more interactive for the learners. And it doesn't need to just be me writing on the smart board, but we can manipulate it more. So you get more of that hands-on experience. I think innovations in AI could definitely help students become better learners. But, like Jacob referenced, does it tend to make someone a little more lazy? I think all technology has the ability to be used for good or the ability to be used for harm. I go back to the pandemic, and I remember when we were forced onto Zoom and these video conferencing platforms, I remember some of the links getting hacked and people using that for bad, just to annoy others, right? The internet as a whole. I know we've had conversations around digital citizenship. I think, there's people out here doing amazing things with the web, creating a movement, sharing their passions, making a living through e-commerce. But there's a darker side to the web too, right? People using it to steal others' identity and use it for ways that are not so good. So I think all of these innovations come with great reward. But I think they could come with some danger. I think for myself, I would just share that, the advancements in medicine and the medical fields are really quite impressive. I look at the young students in the room right now and think about what role you may have in advancing the future in whatever fields you choose to go into. tech will very much be a centerpiece in your life and in your world. You look at the advancements in the automobile industry. I saw a car, somebody was waiting outside the hockey arena and the car pulled out of the spot, drove by me, and I had to do a double take. Wait, there was no one driving that car. They just must have called it to pick them up. That blew my mind for a second. It was kind of freaky, kind of cool. Is that making it safer, the automation, or is it making it more dangerous? I think these are all conversations that we'll continue to have, and I think ethics will be at the core of these conversations in terms of innovation and new tech.
Indeed, and that's why, we're stressing upon the use of tech for good, that even though you have access to different online platforms, but you must know how to promote it for the good and even help others to understand what are the positive and negative effects of technology. So, coming up as the second question is, do you feel that money is often wasted on technology? Explain why or why not. I think as we're in a rapidly evolving world, technology is not just a thing that we need in education, but it has become a necessity for shaping our future. So, if it is used thoughtfully and, like I said, like tech for good, it has the power to transform the entire learning experience. Like tools like Microsoft Teams, Adobe Creative Cloud, and other digital platforms, they're able to revolutionize the classroom. That makes the classroom more engaging, inclusive, as well as accessible to diverse learners. So they're able to foster the four C's: the critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, communication, which are essential for the future workforce. Moreover, I think they prepare us for the digital world where it is needed for us to know coding, data analysis, artificial intelligence, media production, and many more. So, by using technology, we're able to help students get equipped with the future skills. And it's just not an investment in the tools, but it's the investment in potential that is, opening up worlds of possibilities for every student. So we are making sure that they thrive in a world where tech is the new norm, and we're able to make sure that their implementation is, not is effective, and the outdated ones are being replaced with the new and useful methods. Alongside, I think teacher training is a must, that the teachers have to be equipped with the new skills and they're able to get adapted to it so that they can use that for our benefit in the future.
Yeah, although I definitely agree with what Nami is saying about, the positives of tech, I do think that money can often be wasted on new technology. Although trial and error is a part of the process in creating new technology, I feel like things can be unnecessarily overdone. Like for example, I don't know if you guys know, there's such thing as an iPhone 16, 15, 14. I think anything over a 13 is kind of just the same. If you look at the statistics of how they're made, very, very similar products. I feel like this is where money can be a little bit overdone on technology in a product that doesn't really need to be improved any further. Certain things like space tourism, although space initiatives are important, space tourism that costs millions and billions of dollars just for, I guess, touring the space. I feel like money can be rather saved on environmental issues or more critical issues facing us in the earth presently, rather than more how do I say this, more chivalrous type of entertainment, or like not as important things.
Well, I do agree with Kabir about this point, especially about phones, because there's this thing called planned obsolescence. So, like, basically, all companies, they manufacture their phones or devices with the intention of phasing them out quickly so that people are forced to switch to to a new model. I mean, there's several lawsuits over Apple accusing them of introducing software updates that make their phones basically become older. However, I do not agree with the space exploration point that you raised, because, I mean, not completely. I don't completely disagree. I think money should be spent both on environmental issues and space, because if you focus on either one and you achieve failure in the one that you're doing, for example, if I focus only on space, then I won't be able to save the environment. But if I only try to save the environment, but I fail in that pursuit, then there's no second option. So I think there should be some kind of judicious distribution. And yeah, that's it.
We come from like a really small school, and we use lots of technology. Our computers, we get like really expensive computers too, and I feel like we waste a lot of money on them because most of our students do not respect our computers in the way we use them.
Kind of following on what Kabir said, the phone thing, there's, like you said, there's 16 iPhones and a new one just came out. I personally have a 14, and if you look at like influencers or people who have a lot more money or just are more fortunate, they have a perfectly fine phone and then they go and buy the new 16 for clout, I guess.
If anyone has any.
I think that it is definitely wasted on technology, like the iPhone thing. iPhones are $1,000, but they're only made for 40. I think that's terrible, but that's all I have to say about that.
I don't really have much to say either. I do agree with like what Kabir was saying, because I mean that's what most people were talking about, just like wasting money on remaking something like over and over, and like to a point, like people do that to try and make it better, but they don't. They try and make it like a tiny bit better each time, so it's being sold as something brand new.
Yeah, I mean, I really like that we challenged each other's thinking a little bit here. We weren't all in agreement on all of these things. I think that's an important part of this conversation. I guess when it comes down to the word wasted, I think it's really, in the eye of the beholder, right? I mean, for some might see it as an investment. Take the iPhone, for example. I'm sure that Apple and Google and these manufacturers are investing their money to try to get the consumer to spend more of their money on that product. They're going to keep on coming out with the iPhone, X, XX. Who knows, how far they keep taking it, but they're going to keep on innovating one little more thing to make you want to buy that. Is it necessary? Maybe for some people, yes. Does it have some accessibility feature that improves someone's life? Or like, I think AJ and Natalie mentioned, is someone just buying this for clout to say they have the newest, the latest and greatest and the shiniest new product? I think people that are in marketing and sales are always thinking of ways to manipulate and get people to buy. I think that also kind of goes to the algorithms that are put in front of us in this tech. I mean, that's evolved so quickly that, here we are having a conversation today, and whatever it is that we're talking about, I may see this on my phone or in my feed later, prompting me to buy the latest iPhone just because I talked about it here. I know that's a whole conversation for a different day. When we look at how much money gets spent, I know space exploration was mentioned and how massive amounts of money are put into this. I think depending on who you talk to, some people could see it as an investment. Some people could see it as a necessity. And some people could potentially see it as a waste. In the sports industry, I see how much athletes are getting paid. I look at the technology in the stadiums when I go to an NFL game, and I see this little contraption that I can set down my hot dog, my French fries, my drink, and it just scans it and knows exactly what it is. Some people, I don't know how much that costs to make. I'm assuming some people did it to expedite the speed at which people can get through the line to make the fan experience better. Some people may see that as a waste because a person could have done the same thing, and maybe that was taking a job away from somebody. I think there's a lot of considerations that need to go into, the advancement of tech. And I think whether we consider something a waste or not will always be up to the individual, and there will always be two sides to the story on that for sure.
Indeed, that's a great point, because it's always, how we take it, and it's important that we spend mindfully on the things that are required, and we need to differentiate between what is needed at the moment and what is not. So thank you everyone for all of these amazing perspectives. Moving on to the third question. Is there a point at which we should question whether innovation is truly a necessity? Explain or share an example. I think, yes, we should question whether innovation is necessary when it doesn't bring clear benefits or addresses real problems. Innovation for the sake of being new can sometimes complicate things, waste resources, and can also disrupt what already is working well. For example, in education, constantly introducing new digital tools can overwhelm the teachers and students if there are existing systems which are effective. So instead of pushing for the latest technologies, it might be better to improve or make the most of what's already in place. And even if you're talking about in business, innovation isn't always necessary. So sometimes we need those small, gradual improvements which can lead to major changes. So if a current process is working efficiently, we can have some tweaks here and there, but we don't need to change it entirely. So the key, I think, would be focusing upon practicality so we can focus that and ensure that it is serving the purpose.
Yeah, I
I
definitely.
think. Oh,
Oh, go ahead,
sorry.
Johan.
So
Go ahead.
sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. No worries.
I think the main problem is that innovations are being introduced just because they're technically possible, but there's no actual need for them. They're not really solving a genuine problem. Often, like even in schools, you'll see internationally they're teaching you innovation. I don't think it's something that needs to be taught. Innovation is something that comes to you when you see a problem, but then they're teaching you innovation, and they're also asking you to identify a problem that isn't truly a problem. And that's what I feel. Also, if you're talking about constantly innovating, that means that you're also encouraging, what do you say, um, regular upgrading, which is not a problem unless you're talking about domains like fast fashion or like phones, like we've talked about for so long now. Also, resources now are becoming, what do you say, scarce with the passage of time and the pursuit of this kind of novelty. I think that's a huge risk because we're overwhelming the planet's capacity, I think. And also, by introducing unnecessary innovations, you're also taking away jobs, as Mr. Michael said some time ago. You're also taking away jobs. It's also weakening human connections. Like, for example, if you take robotic surgery, while it is guaranteeing, almost always guaranteeing a better success rate, it also means that a robot is doing it for you, and some people might be a bit more comfortable with a human doing it, because I think anyone who's been through a surgery knows that the doctor often talks the surgery through with you. A robot can't do that.
Yeah, bringing it back to what Nami had to say, I definitely agree with her entire concept. And I want to just add to that by saying, for me, innovation is not just about being able to solve a problem. It's also about, even if the problem's already solved and there's already a solution, maybe there's a way to make it more easy for people to use, or maybe more accessible for all kinds of people, which is why I'm a big supporter of any kind of new innovation. However, I feel to a certain point when something has already been so developed, there's no need to develop it further. For example, if you have an automated weapon system, or like a type of nuke that the state of a country might have, and this kind of nuke can maybe eliminate a whole city with one drop of the bomb, right? You don't need to increase that type of technology, a new innovation that can destroy two cities with one bomb. I just think that's where it becomes unnecessary, and you're wasting money and time on an innovation that's already not even going to be used, the likelihood of that, right? So in these kind of situations, it's unnecessary to have new innovation.
I'm a little worried about innovation because we're all hunter gatherers and that's what we're supposed to be, really. But it gets to a point where we're not hunter gatherers anymore. We're not even human anymore. So that's what I'm really worried about.
Me personally, when I think of innovation and how the question says, is it like we waste innovation, like whether it's good? I think we're not innovating enough. I feel like, you have the agricultural revolution, you have the scientific revolution, you have the industrial revolution. When was the last time we had a revolution? I feel like I feel like we need to have some sort of revolution to help certain problems, like the, oh my God, like wildlife and all the fires that we're having recently, like global warming. I feel like we should work towards that and innovations towards that versus like obviously like war and AI. Or AI could help that, but
Yeah, I love that perspective on innovating to solve a global issue or a community issue. And, Troy being a little bit skeptical and making it worried. I mean, right, you're putting a lot of power in these creators and these inventors and these innovators, and you hope that they're using tech for good. I know Namia says it all the time, right? Use tech for good. And I think that needs to stay at the core. Sometimes there's unintended consequences. I like to think back, in my tech journey, I was a math teacher. I shifted into a tech integration role. I've seen the evolution of products through education. I remember seeing the Google Glass when that came out, and it was the eyeglasses, and you had a little piece of glass on your eye, and you could watch a video in that piece of glass. But, was that truly necessary? Did you really need to watch that YouTube video through your eyeglasses, right? I have it on my computer screen or in my hand on my phone. However, I will say, whether it was unintended consequences, we've started to see the evolution of like what they were trying to do there with making the technology more, I don't know, clean with, not noticing that it's even there. But everybody that saw you with this pair of glasses knew exactly that it didn't look like a regular pair of eyeglasses. But then the evolution of now we have the Meta glasses and the Ray-Bans that can record video, that could take a picture. You could take a phone call. You could listen to music, and it's more embedded with the natural pair of eyeglasses. And I just saw at CES, which is the big tech show that happens in Las Vegas every year, where there's these wild innovations. And I know I shared a post on X as I scheduled it to go out as this chat was going on to see some of this in action. They actually have like a built-in hearing aid. Not necessarily that somebody would have a hearing disability, but in your glasses, if you were in a cafe that was a noisy space, it could amplify the conversation so that you didn't have to talk over somebody and you could hear them better. So I think, there was this, we tried to innovate maybe a decade too early, and it evolved. So I think people are finding creative ways to solve problems for humans, and they are becoming beneficial. So I think, this version of whatever tech we're using today is probably the worst version that we'll have access to. The phone we have in our pocket, it's the worst version of that phone that will exist. It's going to keep on innovating. And I just think we have to just kind of roll with it, embrace it, be a little skeptical, challenge, right? Have the right conversations. Not all tech is good, and not all tech is necessary. And I know you, Han, I know you want to add something here. I'd love to have you contribute. I didn't know if you had something.
I think that was my message.
Oh, Kabir, I'm sorry.
No worries. Yeah, I was just going to add to what you said about hearing aids. Like, my grandfather has a hearing aid, and that's the innovation of that hearing aid is incredible. I mean, he has a certain button that can reduce noise around himself, so he can just zone in. He has a button that can lock into one person's voice, a certain conversation. And they act as headphones as well. Whenever he's FaceTiming me or something in a quiet space, nobody else can hear him because they're connected to his hearing aid directly, which I think is really, really cool, because we would never have seen such technology without new innovation, which is why it's so important to have innovation in the first place.
Yeah, and I know here at Global Student Chat, the students are looking for topics and looking for conversations, and I feel like this is one of those topics that could come back up again down the line, and it sounds completely different, the things that we're talking about. So I learned a lot from everybody here today. Thank you so much for contributing. Really appreciate everybody and grateful for everybody here today.
Yep, these were some amazing points. And of course, to sum it up, it's just you need a problem that needs a solution, not the other way around. The solution is searching for a problem. So thank you everyone for joining us today. And special thanks to our guest expert today, Mr. Michael. And please keep the conversation going by answering our slow chat for the rest of the month. Be sure to use the hashtag Global Student Chat hashtag so our team can interact with you. We're looking for new members for our team. If you have opinions and are excited to share them, consider applying to be a part of the leadership team. If there's a topic you think we should cover, please reach out to us and let us know. Follow us and connect with us on social media. Website globaledsschat.com, X formerly Twitter, @theGlobalStudentChat, Instagram @theGlobalStudentChat, and all of our live chats are available on our YouTube channel. Thanks again for joining us, and we hope to see you next month on December 17th on 1 p.m. EST. We'll be talking about attention and the world's demand for it from our perspective. Thank you.